Vico, and she's the financial consultant at BMS 365. Before we start, I will give a brief introduction, let's say, about why we do this. At Quartess, we have visual customers both in the Netherlands and in the UK, and both countries are joining today, so we will do the presentation in English. Thank you for joining the presentation, specifically about eBoard today. Why eBoard? Why do we show you additional applications? It's part of, let's say, our strategy. What our strategy is with visual customers is that we want to make them as happy as possible using the visual product. And we do so by working with them to introduce them to the latest visual versions, so the info work. And at the same time, we provide third-party applications for those areas where we see that there is a need with the visual customers and that won't be filled, that won't be filled by Infor. Which means that we have some third-party applications, and most of you know those third-party applications. We have the third-party application from BMS, as we see today, and as we describe as electronic document processing. Many of our visual customers use those apps. And today we will see an additional application from BMS. We also have the warehouse management system from Portable Intelligence, which is called RF+. We have the business intelligence application from Tableau that works with visual very nicely, but also with other applications. And we have the Easy Invoice application for automating your accounts payable process. All additional third-party applications that integrate with visual to provide additional functionality. Okay, but today we're going to see the eBoard application developed by BMS 365, and as you can see on the screen, most probably presented by Valeria, and I would like to ask her to go ahead with the presentation, Valeria. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you, Jan. All right. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon for those of you in Europe. Welcome to the financial dashboard for visual manufacturing. Today, I'm going to take you through to an introduction of what we call the eBoard app, which is the financial dashboard for visual manufacturing. It's an app that is saving financial people using visual and not only financial, but the rest of the management team, lots of time and resources because it's helping them access financial information online so they can be basically informed on timely basis, control business performance, and make better decisions. As Jan mentioned, my name is Valeria Vico. I'm with BMS 365, and I'm a visual financial specialist. I'm an accountant and have been in consulting capacity for visual since 2005. Just a couple of housekeeping items. Please type on the GoToMeeting panel if you cannot hear me properly or if you have any issues with the screen. We're going to help you out. And if you have any questions, you can also type them on the chat section of the GoToMeeting. So over the next 30 minutes, about 30 minutes, we're going to show you how you can access visual financial information at any time without having to log into Visual. How FinBoard allows you to easily create financial reports just by copying and pasting GL codes from your visual chart of accounts. And how you can save time when performing account research and balance analysis, as you can now drill down to the document details or all from your report. You can also share financial reports online with the app. So this app has been developed for accounting professionals and C-level executives looking for powerful and easy to use GL reporting software. and allows you to access live financial data, share financial statements online with other users, create reports, drill down to transaction details, and export all those reports to Excel in just one click. So instead of using the report writer in Visual, which is a bit cumbersome because you need to also take care of the QRPs, this is a very straightforward app for financial reporting. All right, so let's see how it works. I'm going to show you the app now on the screen. And this is how it looks like. What you see up and running there, it's a financial report that is called income statement. And it has quite a bit of information. It has the actuals for the month, the variance for that month as well, based on the total revenue. It has the budget figures, it calculates the variances, and it goes all the way to the year-to-date figures as well. So in essence, the app has two main modules. One is called FinBoard, and the other one is called Gross Profit. The FinBoard is the one that allows you to see financial statements online, to share them online, and as well as to build reports. This is the report builder functionality. It has a couple of audits that I'm going to show you as well. One is the cash analysis audit, and the other one is the AP audit. So let's start by looking at how you can see financial reports through the dashboard. So the first step is to select the database you want to review. So just to mention, the app is multi-database and multi-site. So you can connect to it more than one database, and you can use the same interface to see the financials for any of those entities that are in multiple databases. Or you can also select the site, which I'm connected to Visual 7, but the site will come up here instead of the entity if you have a multi-site version. You have to select the fiscal year that you want to report on. So this will go back to any of your fiscal years that you have in your database. So you can even review history if you like to. Then you have to report you have to choose the currency you want to report on. So if you have more than one tracking currency, then we have companies, for example, in Canada, it's very, very common to see companies reporting in US dollars and Canadian dollars. You may have euros and British pounds, for example. So you can choose to report on any of the tracking currencies you have in your database. The app also reads any budgets that you have set up in Visual. So if you're using budgets in Visual, you can also bring them on to the screen. And you can also choose how many periods you want to see on the screen. So you can see the whole fiscal year if you choose the 12 months. You can see the last 3 months based on a cutoff date, or you can just see 1 month only. And it has some additional visibility here. So you can turn on these grid lines. But most people like to see the lines on just to have a direct, a better, basically, you can follow better the numbers if you see the lines, but you can choose to exclude those lines. You can hide accounts that do not have activity. You can see the previous year figures on the screen. You can add the vertical analysis. So all you need to do once you have all those selections made, you go to the report list and you just choose the report that you want to review. The app comes with 3 standard reports: the balance sheet, the income statement, and the trial balance. All those that you see with the green light, with the green button there, those are standard, which means they're pre-built for you based on your chart of accounts. So once you have this selected, you just click load. And now what the app is doing is refreshing the screen to bring that income statement over. Okay, so you can see it right there. And from here, you can do quite a few things. You can just hide the lower levels. So just to see a summary of your income statement in this case, or you can expand it. Every time you see a blue button here, you can drill down. That means it's a posting level account. So you can drill down to see the transactions that were posted in that period for that account. And this is the first drill down. There is a second drill down that will take you to the actual transaction, which is an invoice in this case. Okay. The second drill down is it's an SSRS report, a SQL Services report, which means you have full control of it. You can add or modify that report according to your needs. So let's say if you need to see additional information, who the sales rep was for this invoice, you can just edit the report and add it to it. Any of the screens could be exported to Excel in one click. So every time you see this Excel button, that means you can send that report or the drill down to Excel. So if I click on it, it will ask me to provide a name to that report. And if I save it, I have already one with that name, but I'm going to overwrite it. And you can see the same information you see on the screen will go to Excel. So there is no manipulation that you have to do ever. Is what you see on the screen, it goes to Excel. All right. So just to show you some other features. So let's say if you are looking for a specific account and you don't remember exactly the name or the account number, you can use this find feature that will help you highlight where that word is used. So you can easily find the account you're looking for. Or if you want to just look for a number, a dollar value, you can also use the find feature. It will help you find where that number is. So it is just certain features that speed up your research, basically. The next item that I wanted to show you is how to use the report builder. So the report builder is very easy to use. It's based on your chart of accounts, as you see on the left-hand side. That's the site or the entity's chart of accounts, depending on what version of Visual you're running. And at the bottom, we have account groups. These are sub-reports that we can create that can be reused in different financial reports. So I don't have to basically create every report from scratch. I can have subgroups of accounts, and I can use those sub-reports into the final financial statements. But on the right-hand side is the working area, is where we're building the report. So I have one created here, but I'm going to start from scratch. Just to let you know, the first step is to give that report a name, and then we have to build the totals and the subtotals. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So we clear the screen, and then we choose which type of report we want to use or we want to create. If it is a balance sheet report with balance sheet accounts, we use the balance sheet button, or if it's an income statement, we use the IS button. So the first step is to click on that selection. So we are creating a new income statement, and I right click, and you can see when I right click, I have a set of commands here. The first one is to rename, to give that report a title. So I'm going to call it Quartess IS February 27th, 2018. Okay. The next step is to start adding the totals. So I will add a new group and I will rename again, and this would be my total income loss for the period. The next step is I'm going to add another subtotal. Let's call it, just to keep it simple, gross profit. Okay, and then let's go back to the total, and I want to see my operating expenses. Okay, now I'm going to add another, under gross profit, another group, and I will call it revenue, and another group which I will call cost of goods sold. So very simple report here, but it gives you an idea about how this report writer works. So the next step is to go to the chart of accounts and grab those accounts that I want to add to that report. Again, if I don't remember where those accounts are or the numbers, I can use the find feature to find them quickly. And you can see now the account, the chart of accounts is highlighted where that word is used. I'm going to highlight quite a few accounts. I'm going to highlight the revenue group on the other side. And all I need to do is click here where it says copy and the selected account and paste them over. Okay, the same thing I'm going to do with the cost of goods sold. So I could use the find feature again to find where those accounts are. And let's select a few of them and we copy them over. And for operating expenses, I think I have a marketing account on that chart, and I'm going to select them and copy them over. Okay, so something to notice here, once we're building the reports, the report writer brings the actual sign for that account. So if it is an expense, it will subtract. If it is a revenue account, it will add. However, for presentation purpose, you have full control of that. You can change the sign of that number depending on what type of report you want to build. And how you do that, you just, when you highlight an account, you right-click on it, and you can see now my sign buttons are on. So I can change the behavior of that number. You're not changing anything in Visual. You're just changing the presentation of the report. And if you made a mistake and you didn't want that account to show up on that report, you just click the remove button to get rid of it. So when our report is it's created, all we need to do is save the changes. And also, if I want to use the percentage analysis, I can highlight the group that I want to be the base for that percentage analysis. And you can see here it says base account. You just need to click on that flag, and that will make that group my 100% for vertical analysis purposes. And again, after making that change, I can save it, click OK. I go to the financial reports viewer now. I click on the report list after selecting all my different settings. Report list, I should see our report here, and here it is, Quartess income statement, February 27th. I can load it, and now we have it on the screen. We have drill down capabilities. We can export to Excel. You can see here that my revenue group is the 100%, and we're making about 79% of gross profit because it's taking into account the 21% in cost of goods sold. Okay, we have the budgets there, but if you don't need the budgets, you just turn that off, and the budgets will disappear from the screen. I'll show you that. You just click the refresh button now, and the budgets are gone. you can still export to Excel and keep doing your analysis in Excel, or from here you can actually share this report with other users. How you do that? Well, you go to the admin section and you go to reports permissions, and you will choose the user. Let's say I'm going to choose an engineering person here, and we'll add permission, and I will choose the report I want them to or him to have access to. And we save it, and now when he goes in using his Visual ID and password, he will be able to see just this report. So in order to enable people to see reports, you have to give them permission, unless you are logging in as system administrator. Each module also has permissions. So if you want a couple of persons in finance to have access to the report builder, you have to enable that permission for them as well. Okay, so that's basically for the report builder. Very easy to use, very straightforward. The other feature I wanted to show you are the audits that we have available here by default. So one is the cash analysis, and the other one is the AP audit. The cash analysis allows you to see payments and cash receipts that have cleared or not your bank account. And this is reading from Visual again. So we have to, it's based on posting date. So I'm going to go back to history here just to make sure we can see records. And all we need to do is choose the bank account for the cash analysis, and we refresh the screen. So here you can see that we issued a check. It cleared the bank. You can see the clear date, the check date, the posting date, control number, references, check amount, vendor ID. I mean, there is a lot of information. Even the PO is linked here. So you can, let's say, create a pivot view if you'd like to see how much you paid or how many checks you paid that vendor. And these are checks that cleared the bank. Okay, so let's say I don't want to see that pivot anymore. I just drag the field out. But I can include now uncleared checks as well. So I will refresh the screen, and now we have a bigger list here because it tells you which check has been issued from Visual, which is not voided, of course, and all the information about that check, the voucher paid, and the amount of that voucher. Everything is on the screen. The same information, the same type of information is shown for cash receipts. So the total cash that came into the bank and what transaction has been cleared in your cash book and which has not yet. So you can see the blue that has not cleared the bank yet. So this gives you an idea of the historical cash, how much cash you have used and how much cash came in for this within this period of time. The other use for this, how people are using it, is by using it as a payment reference. So if you have a check number, if someone calls asking for following up on a check, on a payment, you can just type the check here, and the screen will show that check number and will basically narrow down the search. However, you can use the filters next to each column title to narrow down that search. So for example, if I want to see the cash receipts for Able Manufacturing here, I can use the filter and just I get only the checks that came from Able Manufacturing. Same thing for cash disbursements for checks. If I want to see just one vendor in particular, I can use the filters rather than just searching for a check number. Okay, Again, everything, all these grids are exportable to Excel, so you can continue your analysis in Excel. The AP audits is very useful to track the vouchers, the expenditure, but also to see what happened with the accrual account. There are many users struggling sometimes with accrual depending on the volume of POs you have to process and reconcile every month end. But you can use this screen to see if the PO accrual account was used, for example, for a non-PO entry. So how I do that? Well, I look on the screen for the voucher GL account, and I can see which accounts have been used in those voucher lines. I can just see, well, was the PO accrual account used here? If it was, which is here, then what I do is I narrow down my search. I'll show you that, to see those entries with the PO accrual account. Well, it could be that they are linked to a PO, but it could be that maybe they're not. So is there any line that has a blank PO? There is none in my example, so everything looks good. So the issue is coming from somewhere else. Is there a journal entry now? So you could basically monitor your accrual, your debit side of the accrual from this screen, and narrow down any possibility of issues that could create discrepancies. You can also pivot the information here, so you can get pivot views. You can add totals. So if I want to see the total of the amount of vouchers, you can just click there and it will add the amount for you. And that's basically, and how you export to Excel is the same way. You export to Excel and you take the information to Microsoft Excel to continue your analysis. All right, and just to give you an overview of how the gross profit works, the gross profit is a module that allows you to slice and dice gross profit information. And you can see on the screen here, you have all the fiscal periods from the database that you are connected to. Again, this is multi-database, so you can combine different databases in the same data warehouse if they have similar products. For example, we have customers doing that. And you can basically analyze. So this is the summary view. You can analyze the details by going to the details view. Here is where you see all the customer orders by customer ID and the profit you made on them by actual product, by customer order line. Or you can go to the pivot view, which is a type of BI view that allows you to combine different variables. So for example, if I take the summary view and I want to analyze my profit for one of the fiscal periods, the app will load the summary, and you need to start basically combining or choosing the variable you want to analyze. So for example, I want to see that profit by customer ID, or I can add the part ID to it. So you have different ways of combining the information here to analyze your gross profit. So you can easily see which product is making you the most money, basically. You can save views here. So once you created a view that you think you are going to reuse the next month or the next time you log into the app, you can save it. And all you need to do is provide a name to that view. So, and save it. So the next time you log into the app, you will load the view. You will see it there, and you can just choose to show only that specific view instead of having to build it from scratch. Okay, but if you need to do further analysis, you can go to the gross profit details, and here you can use all the filters and combine the information as you like, as you need it, and you can export to Excel. You can see here that you can choose the range, the periods you will be analyzing. So you can expand this to have your whole database if you'd like, or you can go month by month, or you can just choose a different range. This module has expanded capabilities because it has a functionality that is called Logic Extender. Logic Extender is a SQL function basically that allows you to write SQL scripts that will be added to the main gross profit section. So let's say that by default you wanted to, so in this case, for example, by default the ship via is not included in the main view because not everybody needs to see that. So you can easily write a SQL script here to bring that data into the data warehouse. And now you can use it in your analysis. Okay, same for customer name, for example. That's another example that we added here in the demo. But it's just to give you an idea of what you can do. You can add unlimited numbers of extended queries. It would be similar to an extended query, but much easier to build because it's a SQL script. Okay, and the gross profit, as I mentioned, is multi-users and multi-database, so you can grab other entities' information as well to include in your analysis. All right, any questions so far? Okay, no questions. So just to summarize, FinBoard and gross profit are part of what we called eBoard. FinBoard is the report viewer and report builder. Gross profit is the business intelligence viewer, basically, or module for financial information, sales, and cost of goods sold. It's multi-database, multi-user, so you can have many users connected to the app. The app does not consume a visual license, so you use your login from Visual, but it does not consume a visual license. It runs on it's basically a .NET product. It runs from your desktop, so it's just a button that you add to the user's desktop, and they just double-click, log in, and they are up and running. Very easy to install and to set it up. There is a case study in our website. If you're interested, Jan can give you more information, but you can also see how other people are using the app. So it's not only for the financial department. Obviously, it's very useful for financial people because it's straightforward, their financial statements creation and view, but also other managers of the companies in manufacturing especially are using the eBoard to control their expenditure. And you can read it here on the case study is at bms365.com, FinBoard case study. Here are some of our companies using the app. And for reference purposes, we have some customer testimonials as well, and how satisfied they are. We are going to share this with you, and if you're interested. And are there any questions? No questions?
Don't think so. Don't think so, Valeria. Everybody's quiet.
Okay, perfect. So
very clear. Yeah, very clear presentation. Thank you very much, and thank you for the attendance as well. As Valeria said, if there's any need for more information, if you want to have pricing information, that sort of things, just let me know, and we will talk with you for a proposal. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.